You are likely sitting there right now, watching this screen, acting on the assumption that you are entirely awake. But consider how often your hands perform their duties, steering a car, turning a key, or lighting a match, while your mind drifts elsewhere entirely. Eastern philosophy identifies the state of autopilot as pramad. It is a form of spiritual hypnosis, where we operate as biological machines, running on the fuel of unconscious habit. We snap in anger or fall into a new relationship, only to later apologize by saying, "I didn't mean to do that." But if you didn't mean to do it, then you weren't the one in control. Something else was. If we cannot reliably govern our own daily words and reactions, then our sense of free will is a dream happening inside a sleeping machine. To understand the extent of what we are missing, the mystic Osho describes the human being as a 7-story house. This floor, right in the center, is the conscious mind. It is the only room we ever visit, and for most people, it is where they live and die without ever opening another door. Beneath our feet are 3 interconnected basements: the unconscious, the collective unconscious, and the cosmic unconscious. Above us, 3 penthouse levels wait to be explored: the superconscious, the collective conscious, and the cosmic conscious. Spending a lifetime on that single middle floor leaves us as subjects to whatever rises from the basements below. We can only become masters of ourselves once we familiarize ourselves with the entire building. Western thinkers began noticing behavioral symptoms that suggested the existence of those hidden floors. Sigmund Freud observed these patterns and inferred that there was an unconscious mind operating beneath the surface. Carl Jung looked even deeper, identifying a collective unconscious shared by all people. But these pioneers were still theorizing from the safety of the ground floor. They were using logic to guess what lay in the dark. Eastern yoga takes a more direct approach. It isn't a philosophy of thinking about the basements, but a practice of actually walking down the stairs to experience the depths firsthand. Consider the Buddha, who once swatted a fly on his neck while talking to a student. He did it instantly, without thinking. Then he stopped mid-sentence. He realized his hand had moved like a machine, so he raised his arm and recreated the motion, this time with absolute conscious presence. He refused to let even a minor gesture happen in a state of sleep. Intellectual guesswork keeps us on the surface. Catching ourselves in the middle of an automatic act is what allows us to step off the ground floor and begin the descent. There is a paradox to this journey. To reach the glowing heights of the penthouse levels, you are first required to travel downward into the darkness of your own subconscious. It follows the rule of the tree. A branch can only reach toward the sky if its roots dig deep into the earth. The further down you go, the higher you can climb. The practice starts with the most ordinary actions. You tie your shoes, but you do it with hyper-awareness. You eat a meal, but you feel every movement. You force the mind to stay present in the mundane until the machine can no longer operate on its own. Awareness isn't found in a grand ritual. It is built through the absolute attention you pay to your very next routine. When you maintain clarity during your waking hours, that awareness eventually carries over into your sleep. You begin to retain your consciousness even as you drift off. You watch the physical body shut down. You observe the darkness of sleep fall over you, but your inner light stays on. You are asleep and awake at the same time. This continuity of awareness allows you to explore the unconscious basement while your body rests. You are no longer just having a dream. You are consciously present inside of one. Mastering the dream state is the proof that you have stepped outside your automatic programming. You are no longer being lived by your body. You are finally the one living in it. At this depth, your individual mind connects to the collective unconscious. This shared basement is a psychological ocean containing the history of all of humanity. It explains why a painting by Picasso can move someone regardless of their language or background. The art is speaking to a floor of the mind that we all share, bypassing the intellect entirely. Ancient mythologies and primal sounds like Om or Amen all originate from this shared level. These symbols resonate across different cultures because they emerge from the same subterranean root. We do not need to create connection on the surface. We simply have to descend far enough to realize that we are all growing from the same foundation. The figure in the dark city is no longer a machine. Their movements are deliberate, and their path is chosen with total presence. Mastering this entire internal structure doesn't require a mystical epiphany. To become the master of your own house, you only need to take your very next step with your eyes wide open.